Insider presents Geek Speak with Matthew Harris and Meredith Lachlan. We cover entertainment, news, and tech with special guest appearances. So sit back and enjoy as we geek out together. Right now.
Good evening, everybody. This is Meredith Lachlan, and I am with my co-chair, Matthew Harris, and this is Geek Speak. Tonight, we are doing like a double feature with music. We had a special guest earlier. You have to go over to our YouTube channel to make sure that you check it out. But right now, we have the K3 Sisters Band, and they are a group of three Dallas-born sisters, Kaylin, Kelsey, and Chris.
My neck of the woods. Oh, I'm sorry.
Right. I wonder why it's called the K3 Sisters. Well, now you know. And they are like blowing up on YouTube, on TikTok, and they've got a really big event that's coming up. I'm going to drop the screen here so that we can say hello to the K3 Sisters Band.
Hey, ladies.
Hi. Hello.
It is coordinated. Oh my goodness. All right. So I have to ask.
Sisters, so.
Now I have sisters as well, and there is no way that we would spend that much time together performing and things like that. What is it like for you guys? Because I think your parents are in the background too as part of the band, right?
Yes, at times, people ask us this a lot, and, it's true that at times we do have our little petty fights, but we always get over it at the end of the day because we're family and we love each other, and it's over stupid things like jewelry or clothing.
Yeah, we're each other's best friends, so we get along most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, go down the line here for us. Tell us who you are, how old you are, and then how you met these guys. No, I'm just kidding. Just get the first parts.
We met at Walmart one day.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Kaylin. I'm the oldest K3 sister, and I'm 21 years old. And I sing. I play the electric guitar, acoustic guitar, violin/fiddle, depending on where you're from, and the harmonica.
And I'm Kelsey. I am the middle sister of the K3 Sisters Band. I am 19 years old, and I also play acoustic guitar, electric guitar, bass guitar. I play the fiddle and some percussion instruments, and I'm also one of the lead vocalists and songwriters.
Yeah, and I am the great K3 Kristen. I am the youngest of the group, also called the Spitfire of the group, but it's up to you. And I play the mandolin, the bass, the drums and percussion, and I'm working on the stand-up bass, and I'm one of the songwriters and lead vocalists for this band. So yes, nice to meet you.
Save the best for last. Save the best for last.
Yep.
Now,
dude.
Now, I mentioned that you all are from Dallas. I actually grew up in Fort Worth. I was a paramedic in Dallas a lifetime ago. I take it that's where y'all were born and raised?
Yes, born and raised in Texas, in Dallas County.
Yeah, and it definitely influences some of our music. We have a song called The Bareback Rider from Texas. So yeah, we started, our first instrument ever was we started playing fiddle at the age of 3. And
the Suzuki method, the Japanese Suzuki method.
Yes, because
the fiddle was our foundation for other instruments that we learned.
Yeah, because our parents always said, if you're gonna play in Texas, you
gotta have a fiddle in the band.
I think they might have taken that from somewhere. I'm not quite sure. It's some great philosopher somewhere.
Yeah, it must be a Texas thing. I don't know.
It is. We get asked a lot of the times, where we're from, and especially when I start talking, and I'll go, "Oh, I'm from South Wisconsin." And just to throw people off, because with this accent, there's no way I'm from Wisconsin. Most people get it right off. They're like, you got to be from Texas. And we just have that set accent.
Yeah.
Now,
we have some family that are from Wisconsin, so I totally knew that was a lie.
So, COVID has slowed the music industry to a screeching halt. We have met a lot of great entertainers, songwriters, singers, bands just since April because the COVID shutting things down, and I have really widened my music library just over the last few months. What are y'all doing during the shutdown time? Are y'all? Yeah, I mean, I know y'all are a little different. You've got the TikTok group, or not group, excuse me, the TikTok followers. You got the YouTube followers, and so I know that you're always writing. But did you guys crank it up a notch when Corona hit, or is it still work as usual?
Right. So before, the coronavirus pandemic hit, we had so many gigs lined up this year, and we were super excited. It was going to be our biggest year yet. And then, boom, it hit, and we had to, unfortunately, cancel all of our gigs. But we decided that, we were fortunate enough to have an audience on TikTok that was growing on our YouTube channel and our Instagram and Facebook. And so we had a band meeting, and we were like, guys, we need to capitalize on our audience online. So let's live stream our concerts to people. And so we've been doing a concert every Saturday on our YouTube channel at 1 p.m. CT ever since. And it's been really an amazing experience because we've created an international community. We have people coming on from over 50 countries to our live concerts, and it's really amazing.
Yeah, they recently came out with a statistic. Is that how you say that word? Statistic, my goodness. Saying that teens and young adults our age were actually stopped progressing in their people skills and their life adventures, and they had to go straight back to their parents' house and stuff, and their lives were put on pause. But with us, it's been the exact opposite. We have been pushing harder than we've ever been, live streaming on our 4K cameras to, as Kelsey said, over 50 countries for thousands of people and kids and teens. All ages love our music, and it's truly a remarkable thing. We have been homeschooled our whole lives, so we were already doing at-home work.
Gotcha.
And, we did a homeschool tour back when we were really little. I was like 8 years old, like 6 maybe, I think.
Yeah, the pandemic has definitely had a silver lining, and I say that because we actually wrote a song recently called Silver Lining, all about, how the pandemic has given us new birth almost, like with how many people we've been able to reach. We call our fans the K3SB fam.
That's awesome.
If anybody was wondering why she has the nickname of the Spitfire of the group, we see now she.
Yes.
Now, I was looking at the press release that you guys have. There's a big deal coming up December 10th. The Raps Power Women Summit with a closing performance alongside Annie Lennox and Melissa Etheridge.
Whoa.
Wow. That's
something.
Pretty impressive, you guys, especially, coming from kind of this platform of like this new media as far as YouTube and TikTok especially, and to meet legends in music. What is that like for you guys? I mean, is it going to be like all, through live streaming, or do you have an opportunity to actually meet with them?
Right. Well, coming up this next year, we have no idea how live shows are going to go, or if they're even going to be a thing, like in people, actual shows. So we're going to keep doing live stream concerts and keep expanding on that. But yes, we are so excited and thrilled and honored to be a part of the Women's Summit of the Rap, and the icing on the cake, and just it's so amazing is we get to be featured on with names like you said, Melissa Etheridge and Annie Lennox. So we're just super honored that we get to be up there with powerful, influential women.
Yes, it is going to be virtual this year, so our performance will be virtual, but we're super excited nonetheless.
Yes, it's a true honor to be at the front lines with women and all types of people, leading the charge with this new generation, it's an honor. And just recently we were featured in the Smithsonian's newest exhibit entitled Girlhood, It's Complicated.
That was also a
and
huge
so
deal.
that was also a huge deal, and it's such an honor the American Smithsonian Museum, and they featured our song My Time because it is a coming-of-age song, you know, for all types of people to enjoy. So that was also a huge honor.
Well, I think that is the perfect segue, Meredith, into playing My Time. This is the video that we had permission to play. YouTube, do not ding us for this. We'll give you the letter saying that we got permission to play this. But tell us a little bit more about My Time as she gets it queued up here. How did the song come about? Who wrote it? And because the video we have, you all are at Hogwarts, basically, or y'all are getting ready to go to Hogwarts.
Yeah, so My Time is a song that I had the original idea a couple years ago. You know, we're not afraid to shelf a song because I want the song to come to its full potential. So I started it a couple years ago, like in 2017, before the pandemic even began. But after it began and we started live streaming, you know, we've gone through this flurry of writing songs like crazy. It's just this purple patch of lyrical essence that we've been going through. And My Time was one of those songs that was born during this pandemic. And it's about overcoming the hard times, no matter what, not letting any of the haters hold you down for who you want to be or the dreams that you want to have. And it's about accomplishing your goals, no matter what. And there's such powerful lyrics. All of the songs we write are not empty melodies. They are filled with thought and melody that really we want you to think about something or get lost in that melody. So My Time is one of those epic songs that when you hear it, you never forget it.
You've either got a career, if this doesn't work out, as a public speaker or a poet, one of the two there, because you one.
Thank you so much. That's an honor.
You know, so because you get that, you know, you tell people, oh, I'm a musician, and they go, oh, well, what are you going to do for money? You know, before they know who the heck you are, and that you've already opened these things. Go ahead, Meredith, because I had a question.
Well, I was going to say, you know, the one.
Played.
Because I grew up singing my entire life. I went to Westminster Choir College, so I totally recognize the singer's diction when you speak. It is very crystal clear, and I, as a musician, appreciate that because people understand what you're singing. Instead of being like, what did she say? What did she say? And it makes it so much easier for people to follow along. I mean, and so again, I appreciate that. And it's making me going, oh man, I've gotten really lazy in my old age, you know, because I used to be very concise and clear when I spoke. Thanks, guys. I'm like totally self-conscious now.
Yeah, our mom actually graduated from Texas Women's University, so with a musical degree. So she's been always on our tail. Make sure you enunciate when you sing. You want the audience to understand what you're saying because we put, like I said, a lot of lyrics in there, and a lot of enunciation has to go. We've been trained by her, so she's nice.
Mom, you did a great job. I can tell right away.
Well, of course, we're getting some more questions lined up here, but we want to take a couple of minutes here to listen to My Time and watch My Time. And folks, if you are not tuning in live on our YouTube channel, make sure you get over there, put on the alerts, because you never know. We schedule these kind of interviews, but we also have those spur of the moment things when we get some very special guests that have things that are coming out the next day sometimes. But these are the guests like K3 Sisters Band. You can get the alerts when we go live, because otherwise you don't get to see it live. You don't get to see their pretty faces. You have to listen to this on the podcast, in which I don't want to disparage our podcast, but you have to wait a few days for that. But for now, we're going to check out My Time. We're going to watch the video. If you're listening on the podcast, you can hear this great song. And so y'all, we'll be right back.
There you go. I'll hit a button.
Hit it.
the show. I'm leaving them all behind. I found my new timeline. Oi,
Oi!
Oi! And I have to say, I
What?
so wish we had done that on screen share, ladies and gentlemen, because in the background, these ladies were giving us a show that if it had been live, they were dancing around. I saw teddy bears, and they were just having a great time listening to their own song. But
hey, life is a party. You gotta enjoy the music, you know, the hard work that you do. You have to enjoy the fruits of your labor.
very much so, very much so. And that is a really great song. Ladies, I mean, as you can see, I'm an old man, but I have a very wide, eclectic taste of music. It depends on my mood. I've always said I like everything from
my friend.
I've always said I like everything from Mozart to Metallica and everything in between. It just depends on my mood. And I really like the songs that I've heard here. That one was really cool. But I have to ask, in that video, the person in the shades, is that Dad?
Yes.
Dad
That
rocks.
is the Bruce, the mysterious.
Dad rocks, and I have a feeling that Dad is y'all's biggest fan because he's getting into the head banging at the right moments, and he is just rocking back there. And I knew instantly it was Dad, but I just had to ask.
Yes, but he's also one of our biggest musical inspirations. He taught us all the instruments we know how to play. He himself plays over 12 instruments.
Wow.
Ranging from stringed instruments to, you know,
Dobro, banjo,
Yes.
mandolin, bass.
the penny whistle, the
He's the reason
many.
why we're all multi-instrumentalists, you know. He's also the reason for our very wide variety of taste in music, as you said. And we have a lot of musical knowledge, you know. We like looking to the past, seeing the past greats, because in order to pave the future, you have to look to the past, you know. And so I'm really thankful to him for that knowledge that we have of growing up with all these legends like the Grateful Dead and
Neil
Crosby,
Young,
Stills,
Bob Dylan.
and Nash. Bob Dylan. Oh my gosh, I love Bob Dylan.
Did
He's
y'all hear
the
the news about him
king.
today? That he sold his
Yes,
entire
we saw
album?
on the news. Insane.
And they didn't report.
Universal Music Group.
Yeah, they did. As far as I saw, they didn't report how much. It just said millions. And of course, with as many songs as Dylan has, good gosh. And that could be you ladies one day.
I know.
You know.
I want to ask a hard question because the three of you are getting older. You know, life happens.
You're already aging.
You know, whether it's well, hey, you know, it's looking to the future. You know, I mean, it's not all like TikTok and stuff. You know, we've got one who's 21, probably maybe going off to college. You know, relationships eventually and things like that.
They don't need college.
Get an education, folks. You know, so what does that look like? What do you guys see kind of, let's just say, even 2 to 5 years from now?
Yes, we are taking our dad's advice and not getting in a relationship right now because that is the last thing we need.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, guys.
we are sticking. Yeah.
Yes, I'm married to my work right now.
Yeah.
And possibly forever. We'll see. You know. I don't think there's any man out there who can live up to my expectations. So we'll see. We'll see. But yes, definitely focusing on the career right now. You know, we have a DIY film production. You know, with Bruce Ray Productions, that's our company, film, label, all of that. And, you know, we like to do things ourselves. The future, there is a storm coming. I guarantee you all that. You know, lightning is going to strike. It already has struck, but it's going to strike again.
Right now, we're definitely building our body of work. We do everything ourselves. We run our own sound. We do our own website design.
And earlier you asked about money. Well, we have been chosen to be part of the TikTok Creator Fund, which is amazing.
Yes, a
we
huge
also get super chats on YouTube and monetize our videos.
Yes,
Very
and
cool.
we have a huge merch store. Our fans love buying our merch, and because we do really cool stuff. Like we take care of our fans,
We
and they
have
know
tie-dye
that.
shirts
Yes, so yeah.
and other fun things.
Yes, powerful women you're in the presence of. Going great places, my dudes.
And
Tie-dye
I am
shirt.
a
Dream.
I'm a huge tie-dye fan, by the way.
I was going to ask though, with tie-dye shirts,
hey,
was that Dad's idea?
Yeah.
Or
Well, you could say that. I mean, because of the Grateful Dead, they kind of invented tie-dye.
That's why I was
so
asking.
Ever since we,
Yes.
we've grown a love for tie-dye, so we all had that thing that said we need to get tie-dye shirts.
We are definitely like part modern day hippies, like that.
hey, welcome to the
We can hear
club.
that in the sound. Now, I do want to hear about the creative process for those who aspire to kind of build up their social media and kind of do what you're doing, walking in your footsteps and stuff. You are actually trailblazing for a lot of young people out there. What is your creative process? How do you get together as far as collaborating, as far as coming together with ideas and things like that? Because I see very strong personalities, and that could create beautiful things, or it could be like, all right, you guys in your separate corners.
Okay, so as far as music goes, we're all songwriters in the band. So when we get an idea in our head, we immediately grab our phones and sing it into voice notes so that we have it and we don't forget it. And sometimes it comes within a snap of a finger, and sometimes songwriting is really hard, and we love to collaborate together in songwriting. And as far as TikToks go, sometimes, just like songwriting, the ideas come to us. In fact, Kelsey makes like drafts of what she wants it to look like in her room, and we shape the video off of that.
But yeah, for us, social media is a tool. That's how we get our information out there for our fans to come to our gigs and our information. It's all about the community for us. We have built a huge community, one fan at a time, in our K3SB fam. And as I said, we take care of our fans. Our music is the medicine of life for them. And that's what we want, And yes, we do incorporate Harry Potter into our songs and our TikToks. Harry Potter is so much fun.
Yeah, the Harry Potter thing started off where it was last year on Harry Potter's birthday. We just posted a singing video of us singing the song Double Trouble from the third movie, and it immediately blew up on TikTok. And we were thinking, man, like this is crazy.
We have to roll with the Harry Potter theme now.
Yeah, and so we've been creating Harry Potter content ever since. And actually, we did a video with our mom as our Ravenclaw, because we're each one of the Hogwarts
We're actually
houses.
wearing our Hogwarts colors right now in these suits.
See,
That
I'm a
video,
Slytherin.
and
We
Anyways,
guessed.
that video was the first to hit 1 million.
I had to
Yeah.
as soon as because I have to admit I was not privy to y'all and your music before we got your publicist reaching out, and then I immediately fell in love with it. And when I saw your slant with Harry Potter, I reached out to my youngest daughter, because Harry Potter, when it came out, they were very young, and we were supposed to pass the books around to take turns reading, but I did all the voices, and so I ended up reading like most of the books to them. They were, of course, grown by the time the last two came out, but so she has this very big affinity for, both of my daughters do, for Harry Potter, but her more so. She goes to Harry Potter trivia nights, and so I turned her on to you guys, and so she's been telling all of her friends, and she's probably tuned in somewhere out there. But with I'm sorry, go ahead. I saw you about to speak.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's incredible.
Well, Harry Potter, for me, when I read the lines, and I know everybody has their favorite things, but in that first book, when it said that they had and I always forget the exact phrasing, but it was, they had trouble getting to class the second day because some stairwells that led to the right place the first day didn't, and then some were only walls pretending to be doors. That line, the walls were only walls were only pretending to be doors. That's when I was hooked, because I'm a writer myself, and I just thought that was brilliant, and I chuckled, and then I would look forward to all the books as they came out. And so, yes, as soon as I saw you ladies were in the Harry Potter garb, and y'all got the one about Bellatrix, and so that kind of stuff just hit. That was another one of yours.
I think that's actually one of my favorites.
Yes, I wrote. Yeah, I wrote a song called Queen Bellatrix because I was heavily inspired by her character. You know, she was one of the most powerful Slytherin wizards out there. She was extremely powerful. And I was just so inspired by that. And so I wrote a song about that and called it Queen Bellatrix. And yeah, Harry Potter has definitely influenced our musical endeavors. We've got multiple songs inspired by Harry Potter.
We have a song called The Phoenix, inspired by
nice.
Fox the Phoenix
Yes.
from Harry Potter.
Phoenixes have such powerful symbolism, and so we wanted to put into perspective, you know, Fox the Phoenix and how humans, we go through these cycles in our lives, you know, of, you know, having a fire and then rising from the ashes of that fire, you know, and so that symbolism was really special to us. So that's how the Phoenix was born, quite literally.
And because we do so many Harry Potter videos and Harry Potter music, the Harry Potter fandom, you know, Potterheads, their loyalty to us, the K3SB fam, is so much stronger because it's like the connectivity of, oh my gosh, we're both Potterheads. I love your music. I love your messages. And they instantly connect with one of us because of our houses. We're all in a different house.
Yes, and it's so cool because we have reached over 300 million teens and all ages through social media and Harry Potter. And so it's super cool to have that connection with them because Harry Potter fans are fiercely loyal.
Yes,
and
they are.
we want to give them the best content, videos, music videos,
New
and
content.
songs and new content that we can.
Yeah, and it's crazy because we get a lot of comments from young people saying, I, you know, heard about Harry Potter through you guys. And so it's really cool
Wow.
that we've been able to turn on the new generation to Harry Potter because it is just such an amazing thing.
Yes, and with, you know, reaching so many people, you know, and getting so many comments, there's no way to avoid it. You're gonna get some sort of hate comments as well, you know?
Sure.
There's always people out there, I've learned, that just like to hate on people because for some reason
yes.
it makes them feel better about themselves. And so when we deal with hate comments, I'll never forget when we first started getting hate comments. It was in 2014, I think. That was when we were really breaking onto the scene. And we were so young at the time, but my goodness. And we started getting hate comments, and hey, that hurts any person, you know, regardless, you know, any just hate comment.
Right.
So my sisters and I came together and we said, how can we deal with this? What's a way that we can not only help other people, but help ourselves as well? And so in 2014, we wrote this, as I call, word whopper of the century, called the hashtag K3 motto. And the motto, as I said, it's a word whopper. There's so many, it's 3 stanzas of sentences, just 3 sentences. But they have so much profound truth to them that applies to any person. And
we say it?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the K3 motto. I will always believe in myself and celebrate my life and the lives of others.
I will respect the music and customs of others as long as they are not harmful to anyone.
I will stand against bullying of any kind and choose love over hate. Hashtag K3 motto.
I love it.
But yeah,
I absolutely love it.
we've gotten so much feedback from our fans saying like, thank you so much. This really helped me through this scenario. And even people, adults, they're like, you've really helped me in my workspace, you know.
Or you've helped my kids.
Or you've helped my kids, yes. So it's a true honor to have created such a peaceful thing.
Now I have to ask because as we've discussed, I'm from the same general area as you ladies, so I know how big these are. And you all said that you've been playing instruments pretty much since you started walking. Were you all involved with the pageants in the DFW area?
We were not.
gosh,
We
no.
were not.
Pageants.
We were not pageant queens. We
Okay.
were not.
Yeah, although I did have one of my relatives highly suggest I became a pageant girl when I was really young. just
She
because
would've
I was
been-
a diva.
She would have been great at it, but
She would've.
I know we used her talents in our band instead.
Yeah,
What was that one show, the pageant show, Toddlers and Tiaras? Oh my gosh,
Oh
we
my
watched
gosh.
that as kids.
Yeah, that's just not what we wanted. But but we wanted to put our insights into something that would last over lifetimes and generations, which is creating music and spreading love and happiness. And so that's definitely what's been really good. But we are leading female entrepreneurs. And we want to continue this movement of, females and all types of people, of just female empowerment for all people, And it's truly a blessing to be able to lead the way through others, and especially having my sisters at my sides, they're the biggest inspirations to me as well, because I can come to them, if I have a question about the band, do you like this melody? Or I've just written a song, and I'll be like, all right, this is the world premiere. I'm going to play it for you guys, and let's get their input, and then they'll tell me, oh, it's good, or, oh, you need to rewrite this. And then also I can come to them outside of the band as sisters. If we have a question or a problem, I can come to them and rely on them, just like they can rely on me as well. So they're my
That was so sweet.
Oh, I know.
No, I did want to touch on that, and thank you for mentioning it, because there is that fine line of work and home. Being that you work together, you practice together, you perform together, how do you turn that off at the end of the day?
I mean, at times it is hard to separate, when you're dealing with just your sister or when you're dealing with a bandmate. So sometimes there can be conflict around that. But, we love each other, and if there's ever an issue, we always solve it by the end of the day, because we are so close. And we also know if there's a problem right away, we just help each other.
We get hurt, we hurt each other, but we always work it out, and it's fine.
Yes.
That's
We
like
rise
the
from the
sister
ashes like a
dynamic.
phoenix.
There you go. Yeah, that's a sibling dynamic, I think. Just because you have to. And here's the thing. Do you ever go, hey, mom and dad, did we all have to have the same initial? Because I know with my two sisters, Meredith, we've got Melanie and a Melissa, and I'm like, really, nothing was sacred. I mean, do you guys have your sacred space where the other sisters are not allowed? As far as stuff.
I don't know.
I mean, we do a lot of stuff together, but we do have our own separate rooms, and whenever we need space, we definitely take that time to ourselves.
That's true. We know when to give each other space.
Do you
Yes,
ever
but
sneak
we are
into
very
each other's
connected.
closets?
Oh, yes, all the time.
Yeah, well, we sneak into each other's closets mainly to steal jewelry and clothes, and
Yeah.
then slowly, like a ninja, return it, and then the sister's just like, oh, it just reappeared. But yeah, you want to call it fate or destiny. The three of us are very connected. We are of one mind almost at times. It's what people tell us. And we see, we can kind of read each other's thoughts almost, because as I said, we are like a trinity. We rely on each other almost in a way like a triangle. So, yeah.
Now, I wanted to ask, because I'm a jack of all trades. I told you I was a paramedic. Well, I also used to be in advertising. And your logo, the K3, making the heart, it just really caught my eye. Who came up with that?
Oh my gosh,
There's actually quite an epic story to our logo.
So, it had to have been in 2009. Before we'd even come up with our name, K3 Sisters Band.
Well, because at this time, we had already been touring around Texas. We just didn't have like a band name because our parents had a band before us. So
we
each
were
time we
playing
were
with
born,
them.
we were born into the band. We've grown up in the music industry. We've grown up, seen the good, bad, and the ugly. So.
Yeah, but we were actually on a plane ride home from Disney World, and our dad always likes to. He doesn't like to sleep on the planes. He likes to, get some work done. And so we were there on the plane, and he came up. On a napkin, he drew our logo, the K and the 3 with the heart and the stars, and we immediately loved it. You know, K3 Sisters, because all of our names start with K.
Yes, and he also drew one with a lightning bolt through it. That was also one of our logos that, that we were thinking of using. And it was just so cool because we were in an airplane on the way home from Disney. It was like magic. It really was like a magical moment. And looking back on it, it really was like a moment that we made in history that kind of like defines the band. It was like the official start in 2009 of the legacy of the K3 Sisters band.
I'm pretty sure we still have that.
Oh,
my
look,
gosh.
Here it is, the original. Wow.
Original.
All the way from 2009. We've got it.
Here
Look
Oh
at
my
that.
gosh.
That's
Wow.
what he drew on the plane.
Now, see, you got to keep that because then, years from now when they have an auction, that could be one of those artworks that just goes down in history of having, making great money in an auction. Because that was just one of the things that caught my eye right from the beginning, especially on y'all's banner, because you have the K3 and the Sisters Band. And it was just something that really caught my eye. So I was impressed. I wanted to know who was responsible. And it sounds like me and your dad would probably get along. It sounds like me and your dad would get along really well. We're from the same neighborhood, so to speak, it sounds like. But I have another question here. You ladies were going around, you've been around Texas, you've been other places touring before, as we call it, the Great Pause. And I'm going to put you on the spot here, and we can take an answer from each of you. But where was your favorite place that you have played so far?
That's a
great question to ask a band. We performed like everywhere.
Okay, so I'll start. This is a show that just came to my mind first, but we did a public school tour when what year was that? It was when we were in elementary school.
Maybe 2012.
Yeah,
2012 or so. And
really young.
we toured 20 public schools, and we did a performance for the entire school. And then at the very end of that tour, we gathered all of the kids from all of those 20 schools into this one huge not a theater, what's it called? A arena. Oh my gosh. And it was amazing because all the kids knew us at that time and they knew our names, and just seeing all those thousands of kids
that
there.
show kind of like sparked the whole thing of I want to do this for the rest of my life with these people knowing who we are and like know our music.
Yeah, chanting our band name, literally so excited for us to come out on stage.
It was insane. Okay, get your turn.
Well, for me, I'm going to have to go with Six Flags Over Texas. We've performed there a couple times. That was actually one of the first gigs when we were knee-high to a pop bottle, my goodness. But, especially recently, we've done like 20 shows at Six Flags Over Texas, over the span of these 12 years we've been in a band.
That was actually our last show we did this year in March before the pandemic broke out.
Wow.
We were there in spring break, and we did the one show, and then we were going to do a show the next weekend, and then boom,
the pandemic.
that day.
But anyway, performing at Six Flags is just so awesome. Like for tens of thousands, over 10,000, people in the crowd. It's such an exhilarating feeling of being on the stage with the spotlight, because you gotta have. It was right next to the Riddler, by the way. That Gotham stage. Oh, I love that stage. Oh my gosh, the Gotham stage is so cool. It's so. But
I'm a huge Batman fan.
It's such an exhilarating feeling.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing that I wanted to
wait.
mention.
We still got one more.
Listening.
Wait.
Oh,
we still.
yeah. Okay. Yep.
You want me to go? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, my favorite show, probably a highlight show, is when we played at Great Wolf Lodge, the water park in Grapevine, Texas, in the lobby area. And there was one show where like too many people were there. It was their Christmas show, and like there was a tree lighting and everything. And so the fire marshal had to come down and be like, y'all can't be here, not to us, but to the crowd. They're like, y'all can't stand here. There's too many people in here. And so we kind of outgrew that venue, but that was a great show because there were so many people watching us play our songs and our Christmas songs. And even Santa came and made an appearance. And we played Jingle Bells when he came. So it was crazy. Awesome.
That's awesome.
Hey, I've been on the other end of the Six Flag concerts, out in the crowd at Six Flags Over Texas. That I used to have season passes there, went all the time. And so it's cool to hear the other side of that you all like playing that venue too, because you hear some nightmare scenarios as far as venues go, and I won't put you on the spot to ask you if you've had any nightmare venues because we probably
have we?
Hey. Any real band who performs and actually has the guts to perform in front of people has had those nightmarish experiences.
many nightmares.
And we are one of those.
Mainly with like sound guys. That's why we learned how to run our own sound. And these past few years we were doing our own sound, taking our equipment places because we've had some bad experiences with sound because we play so many instruments and they never can get it right.
Yes, I mean, here we are playing we're all multi-instrumentalists, so we're each playing like 4 instruments.
We have over 20 channels.
And the average band only uses like 5 channels, like 1 instrument per guy. Like the Beatles is the greatest example. 4 dudes, they each had 1 instrument, But with us, it's the complete opposite, And so they always never knew what to do. We overwhelmed the sound men so many times. Like, they were never trained professionals. They were just a guy who woke up and was like, oh, gotta go to work. And, oh, I'm on sound duty today. All right, let me go deal with this band. So instead, that was one of the reasons why we were like, all right, we are a do-it-yourself band. I'm not going to put my trust into some random dude or dudette who doesn't know what they're doing.
But also, we've had some bad experiences with like the heat, the Texas heat. Oh my goodness!
Yes.
We did a show last March or last May, and it was so
Not this
hot.
May, but 2019 May.
2019 May, and it was so hot. It was at the Dallas Arboretum, and literally the
I
stage.
got heat sickness that night. I had such a bad headache and a stomach ache.
It was over
the
100
worst.
degrees.
Because we were performing in the full sun. Like it was at like 3 o'clock. They didn't have like shade.
Yeah, and what you have to understand is that we were playing on the pavement. It was some stone way
Stage.
with full sun, and it was like performing on a frying pan. We were
Yeah,
getting
it's-
baked alive. They only had these tiny little umbrellas, and it was insane. But yeah, you have to learn and train yourself to adapt to any environment or any situation you're in when you're a band.
But adapting to that, though, those Texas situations is next to impossible because you're right. I've always mentioned it as like being in a convection oven. You've got heat from the top, heat from the bottom, and you're baking in between. And so, yeah, that would definitely be a nightmare scenario for me.
Well,
But Meredith,
now
go ahead. I've
I wanna-
interrupted
yeah.
you like 9 times.
That's all right. That's okay. We are, kind of live streaming and the replay to a fairly large audience. And a lot of times, when you come into people's consciousness and things like that, it's like, oh, they're an overnight success, and they don't realize that you guys have been doing this since like 2009 or since
Right.
you were like basically
they're
out
an
of the
overnight
womb.
success. It only took 12 years.
That's a long overnight, boy.
Well, speak about that. Speak about the longevity of what you're doing because you're still so young. I mean, there's so much life ahead of you, and to grow up with this, it takes a lot of consistency and it takes drive to do this. Speak to that, to our audience for that, because there are a lot of people who are really inspired by your story and they're like, I want to be like you guys when I grow up. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, we've learned that if you really love what you do, if you love to play music and share it with people, then you need to do it. And it takes a lot of work because some days you don't feel like doing the work. But if you really love it and you're dedicated to it, we've learned to keep pushing forward and keep writing.
You have to be willing to make sacrifices because we, decided at an early age that this is what we wanted to do, to perform music and share our music through to everyone. And so you have to be willing to make those sacrifices, like not having as many friends as the average person.
And as you said, the longevity. You can never underestimate the power of the longevity of a band because your fans will grow with you over the decades. They grow up with you and they grow to know you and you grow to love them and they grow to love you. And there's just so much power in that. And we love to just entertain people and spread that positivity through our songs. And it's truly awesome. And your music also evolves with you.
Yeah, we have a lot of positive messages in our songs, not just love songs that you hear on the pop radio station.
Yeah, yeah. You know, because it's so easy for anyone to go into a studio and lay down a bunch of tracks and cover up their vocals so much and cake on makeup, reverb, and all this stuff to it. And then when you hear them played live, they sound completely different.
Right.
Or and it's just one person maybe, or you know, a huge band even. And we love to be transparent with our fans, and they respect that authenticity we give them, because what you hear is real. There's nothing fake going on in our, you know, our recordings or our live things, because what you hear in those recordings is what you hear at our live shows. We have worked tirelessly our whole lives to train to get as close to perfection as we can through our songs. You know, we can't be perfect, but we can strive to get close to it. So there's just 100% realism through our music, and our fans get that.
Well, you know, Tyler Joseph says, "Don't trust a song that's perfect," and so.
Oh my God, you're 21 Pilots fan? Oh my gosh,
They're one of our main music inspirations. We saw them live twice last year.
Yes.
One for her birthday.
Yeah, I think that was the last concert we went to, wasn't it?
I think it
so.
was.
I'm
oh
a-
my gosh,
I'm
21
a-
Pilots is so awesome.
I only found them about a year ago because I listened just to whatever Alexa plays me or what's on my phone. And then I found them, and I love all of their albums. I listen to them every day when I'm writing. And so, yeah, I love 21 Pilots as well. And
Tyler is an amazing songwriter.
Yeah,
There's a lot going up in his brain, man.
Yep. And I don't know if you ladies have ever just went through YouTube, but he'll also do those reimagined versions of his songs where he will do an unplugged, or he will just completely just do it differently. And some of them are like, yeah, but then some of them you're like, holy crap, that is brilliant. Especially because you just get to hear it with a different ear.
Yeah, that's
21 Pilots is really cool because they also have a huge dedicated community to their music, because their music stands for so much more. It's so amazing.
Yeah, one of the cool things about a band is that you don't have to do a song one specific way. You know, and Tyler understood that. You know, we have done so many different versions of our songs too, because they adapt and mutate over the years. And, you know, you can do a slow version of the song, but then all of a sudden a super fast rock version of that song. That's also a part of the longevity of a band, because when you're playing the same songs over and over again for years, you know, there's a sense that it almost gets boring, because it's like, oh, let me just go through the motions. But that's why, you know, we change our songs every once in a while, sooner than later sometimes, with different songs. And it keeps our fans on their toes as well.
Because if it becomes, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, if it becomes muscle memory and you're just getting up there and going through the emotion or the emotions, then the emotion and the feeling isn't there behind the song. And if you're changing things up, if you are, you know, really just exploring the words, the meanings behind the song, and you're still trying to make that connection with the same people you connected with before, but also with new people that may just love this song because it is sang a little differently, or the beat's a little different. And that's the kind of stuff that just really keeps musicians fresh. You know, when you've got the same three chords and it all sounds the same, and you're going to concert after concert after concert. And like you said a minute ago, there's so many out there that you hear them on an album, and then you go into the concert and you're like, who the hell is this? That's why I like that what you ladies are bringing to the table. Y'all are keeping it authentic. Y'all are loving what you do. You are you know, you change things up to challenge yourselves in a way as well. And like I said earlier about your dad, you can tell he's having a blast back there in the background. I was listening to you all, but I was watching Dad, and that's probably because I am a dad. But I was jamming on him jamming.
Now, I wanted to ask you guys, with the holiday season coming up, are you writing Christmas music or New Year's music? Are you putting kind of like a Harry Potter kind of Christmas thing together for your audience? This is the Geek Insider. We do like inside information.
Oh yeah. Well, let's spill the tea, ladies.
Oh,
Yes, we're actually in our studio right now. We have this amazing Christmas set, which is amazing. And Kaylin, go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
Oh, well, last week we did a Harry Potter Christmas show, and all up until Christmas, every Saturday we're doing Christmas-themed shows. And I actually, since you brought up New Year's, I have a song called A Year in America where I wrote about the normal things you would do in a year, and the first line being, "Time for a new year, it's another New Year's Day." And it ends with that same line. So that's our New Year's song.
Yes,
Very
and we're
cool.
actually having our first ever New Year's Eve concert
Oh my gosh.
extravaganza.
That's
on
my
December
birthday.
31st at 11 p.m. CT. Oh, it's your birthday?
Yeah, New Year's Eve. Everybody celebrates my
gosh.
birthday.
Happy early birthday.
Yeah.
and now how are y'all going to be doing that? Is that going to be just on TikTok, or is that going to be on your Facebook and YouTube and everything else?
It's
Yeah.
going to be on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Plus, we will be going live on TikTok as well for part of it.
Yes, it's a
Wow.
bunch of missiles live streaming from all these different platforms, all going off at once. It's going to be crazy, though. It's, with each of our live shows, our fans never know what they're going to get. There's a saying about us with each show we do. There's nothing like a K3 Sisters Band concert. And so this New Year's Eve show, let me tell you, it's going to be crazy. We've got some crazy new songs planned for that.
We never do the same show twice, by the way. Like these artists that go on tour, they do the same lineup, the same
Right.
songs in a row. We never do that.
Always switching it up.
Yes.
That's very cool. That's very cool. And I'm going to throw something out here that we always ask all of our guests one specific question, and I'm going to save that, but because I told Meredith a while back that I had a new one for our musical guests, our musicians and songwriters. And so we can go down the line here. Of course, whoever goes last gets a little bit more time to think. But if you were, let's just say, stuck on a desert island or what have you, whatever the situation is, but you can only listen to one album for the rest of your life, what is it?
Oh my god.
That is an excellent question.
That is so hard. Oh my goodness.
I think for me, I'd have to pick Bob Dylan's Blood on the Tracks. I'd pick that album because there's so many hits off that single. I love his ballads like Lily Rosemary and the Jack of Hearts. I love that one. There's just so many songs off of that really strike a chord in me that I never get tired of listening to them. He's one of my huge inspirations for writing ballads and all these crazy songs that I write. And so, yeah, I'd pick Blood on the Tracks by Bob Dylan. That would be
You're an old soul.
Very much so. You would never expect anyone her age to select Dylan for one thing. I am just amazed.
Who's next?
Okay, I would choose the Grateful Dead's American Beauty because so many songs on that are just, there's like a spiritual element in them, and it just makes me feel, it's almost like I'm listening to it for the first time every time I listen to it because that's how I want to listen to it. It's so good just to experience that for the first time again. I love that album.
That would have been
well,
my second pick.
Kelsey, you're
This
probably
one,
like, oh my God,
I
they're
really
stealing all my
enjoyed-
albums.
Okay, well, I really enjoy listening to live music with a live performance. And so I really have been enjoying recently U2's album called Rattle and Hum. Oh my gosh. We love that movie too because it always inspires us. Bono is amazing and The Edge. I just love U2. That album is incredible. So.
Yeah, I love their
Also,
basses.
5 Seconds of Summer, this is a second one. This is like a modern day artist, just, modern. Five Sauce has a great live album called Live Sauce,
my
which we
God.
listen to so much. That would be another
We
one.
love live albums.
If Harry Potter would have been created in the 60s, I think you ladies would have been perfectly fit in that decade because of just the music
Yeah.
and your
And
style.
the influence. Yeah.
The influences, the music that you love, you could just tell that if Harry would have been around there, J.K. Rowling would have been born a few decades earlier. But
Well, speaking of J.K. Rowling, have you heard from her at all?
Oh, good question.
No, we have not.
No, not as
Oh,
of
she hadn't-
recent. No.
Some
She
of
hadn't
the
tagged
actors,
you.
though, some of
No,
the
I'm sorry.
actors sent us congratulation videos because they have noticed that we're coming out with Harry Potter songs, and they congratulated us
Bonnie
on My
Wright.
Time.
Bonnie Wright and James and Oliver Phelps and Chris Rankin.
yeah.
Wow.
Who plays Percy Weasley. And yeah, man, when we got those videos from them, we freaked out because, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, these are
They're
literally
amazing.
the people that played these legendary roles. Like, it's huge to us. And, you know, in Ireland, in Dublin, they've actually invited us to go to their Harry Potter convention and be the headline band for that event, which we're extremely excited about.
We performed this year for their virtual Wizard Con, but they invited us to come back next year if the event happens in person. They're going to fly us out to Ireland, which is insane.
Yeah.
Have y'all been out of the country yet?
Well, not during the pandemic, but we have been out of the country before.
Yeah, we haven't been like we've been to Mexico,
Yeah.
right? And
On
we've been
cruises.
on
Cruises is what we've
the
done.
Bahamas. and
Performed
stuff.
on cruises and various things. So, yeah.
Got you. See, well, I just know because growing up in Texas, I always have said I can live anywhere as long as it's in Texas. And going on any kind of international trip, meant Tennessee or Florida maybe, because those were foreign countries to us. And I've never actually been out of the country except to Mexico as well. So I was just wondering if y'all had the chance or if this would be your first big excursion overseas.
Well, one of our favorite places to travel to is California and seeing the giant redwood trees. You know, walking amongst them is like being on another planet. And it's just I'm so at peace and so inspired when I walk amongst them in San Francisco. We love San Francisco so much. Very connected to that place. That was like the hot scene in the 60s and 70s where the Grateful Dead and all these icons were just growing their musical journeys. And so going there is always so special for us. And Kaylin even wrote a song called California Redwood after that experience with the redwoods.
But yeah, our dad kind of grew up in that area at that time.
Yes.
So that's why we love going there as well.
Our dad grew up with the hippies, so that's why we are like modern day hippies.
It is a
Definitely
beautiful,
cool.
beautiful area.
Yeah.
And I've got to ask this now. And we're getting close on time here to the hour mark. We're going to go a few minutes over, folks, if y'all are listening on the podcast or on Indie Volt Radio. But I have to ask, out of all, y'all have been playing together for quite some time. What is each of your favorite songs of your own?
Ooh, good question.
Okay, well, one of my favorites to play live is actually the last song on our new album, My Time Live. It's called Baby Baby. And what I love about it is embedded in the words are these encouraging, uplifting words telling you to reach deep down and to keep your cool. But it's just this fun rock song. So that's one of my favorites.
So for me, my favorite songs that we write are always changing. I'm always changing my favorite because I find a new way to love the song every time I perform one. But for now, my favorite song is Queen Bellatrix because I'm a very dramatic person. I love getting into acting, and Queen Bellatrix is just such an amazing way for me to express my emotions. But also, another, like I said, I might just switch it right now, but Green with Envy is my newest song that I debuted last Saturday at our concert. And that was such an exhilarating feeling. Whenever you debut a new song at our live stream shows, which again is another reason you never know what you're gonna get at our concerts when we're gonna debut a new song. But Green with Envy was just, the lyrics in that are so powerful. And it's just, words of, jealousy and envy is a dangerous thing to fall into in this world of being jealous of someone or for something that they have, that they were blessed with. And so I wanted to write a song about that because I feel like that's a topic that's not really talked about and dealing with that because that's how bullying begins and all this craziness. So yeah, Green with Envy is also
And
epic.
I personally really love performing and writing ballads. And so I'd have to say right now my favorite would either be our song Fireflies or our song Evangeline, for sure, which is on our new album, which you can stream for free on our website, k3sistersband.com.
And, we are at the hour mark, and I want to thank you guys for spending the time with us and really telling us about your story. And
this hour went by fast.
It really did. So I'm gonna pass the mic back to Matthew, because we do have one question, and in a way, I'm wondering, like, well, they're still young,
I know it. That's what I'm thinking. This is going to be interesting.
This is going to be interesting. Yes, it is.
Yep.
Go ahead,
Because
Matthew.
we've asked this question, I don't know to how many people, well over 100 by now, people from Hollywood, people from all walks of life. But so we'll go, just one at a time again. And like she said, y'all are young, but if you could go back in time and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
That's a great question.
Well, yeah.
What? Can I go first, please?
Fine. I guess it's a rite of passage. You're the oldest, I guess. But
Thank you. By the way, thank you guys so much for having us. This has been a lot of fun. We've loved talking to you too. Okay. So I would probably tell myself to not compare yourself to anyone and be insecure about it, because you are you, and that's what's important. And
Beautiful.
It's also not important to be perfect. Go out and play your song the best you can play it.
Beautiful.
yeah, that's very true. The thing that I would probably tell my younger self is don't be afraid to be an original. Don't be afraid to be original and to, go out of the boundaries of society or what this world has to offer. Go into an out-of-world mind state and truly find that out-of-world awesomeness, because, covers can only get you so far, but writing original songs is what truly takes you and transcends you to a whole other atmosphere. And don't be too trusting either, You don't want to have any middlemen in your workspace, girl. You got to be a businesswoman. You want to keep it.
Yeah.
Don't be too trusting to people.
I would probably tell my younger self, obviously, to always believe in yourself and stay true to yourself, but also to, take things into your own hands and don't try to rely on other people to get you where you want to be. You have to, if there's not a path in front of you, you have to pave it yourself in order for you to walk down it. So always stay true to yourself and, trust but verify, but obviously do stuff to rely on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, ladies, again, thank you all so much for joining us. Don't go anywhere yet. We want to say bye to you off the air, but I think I got this right. Pretty much everywhere, if you want to follow these ladies on TikTok, Facebook, anywhere else, it's just K3 Sisters Band. So you put the @ in front of there and you got them. Is that right?
Yep.
Yes, all of our music is for free streaming on our website, k3sistersband.com, for any of the viewers who want to search us and find
Or buy
a
some
new
merch.
experience in life, or look at our merch store, or look at the backstories on how and why we wrote our songs.
And you can sign up for some free photos that we mail to you for free.
Yes, we love to take care of our fans, as we said. And so for those who are too young to buy our merch, we send out free photos. We call them print sets to those who choose, and we autograph them as well. And yeah, definitely
cool.
don't miss out on that. But yeah, k3sistersband.com, everybody.
There we
And
go.
thank you, Kaylin, Kelsey, and Kristen, for being with us on Geek Speak. One of the things that I love to do, I'm just starting to do this now, is as we go out, make sure you strike a pose. We're going to be sharing that out on our social media. On the count of 3, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, sexy. All right. You guys are great.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you so
Ooh,
much.
thank you.
Happy holidays and really Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We wish you the greatest of success.
Happy
And on that
holidays
note,
to you too.
Yes.
Bye, everyone.
Au revoir.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Sayonara.
At Geek Insider, we foster relationships with those in the geek sphere so we can give our audience the insider view of entertainment, tech,